Having seen some of the MCQs while discussing different units, it is time to see a larger number of MCQs to understand the relevance of the topic from the angle of the examination. It has been mentioned time and again that the immediate purpose of these discussions is to prepare well for the examination and pass in the paper concerned. It has also got a larger role because HRM will be relevant in operations. That is why some of the concepts have been explained, some of the books have been referred, some of the examples have been cited to bring in the large picture. Everywhere it has been mentioned, we must understand the big picture in order to survive in challenging times. The more the knowledge, the more will be the opportunity to survive. Even in regard to this performance appraisal, PMS system we have mentioned, that if we are capable, there is nothing to fear about it. That is why it has been mentioned that all the qualification we acquire, the knowledge we acquire should have employability, that you should be able to be employed in this organization or that organization. The capabilities must be improved as much as possible. So let us look at this particular question as to how it will come. That there are always in this particular examination some case-based question. A small case will be given like this, and it goes on to read like this: Ram was feeling uneasy while going to office. It was not the challenge of the job. No, it was not the overwhelming responsibility of his current job that brought this 40-year executive his news. It was his boss. For the first time in his career, Ram was faced with a situation that he did not know how to handle. Even more frustrating was the feeling that there was an important job to be done. Extremely confident and incredibly talented in handling technical problems, his boss got results. His boss was completely devoid of sensitivity, kindness and patience. Moody and volatile, he might come down on anyone at any time. Ironically, he could be charming and pleasing when it suited his purpose, which was usually when interacting with the top management. As he watched his boss exploit and demean subordinates, he vowed never to treat anyone that way himself. He learned to maintain his composure under direct personal assault. He learned that even when you can't do much to change someone, you could change your own behavior to make the best of a bad situation. A small case, a small situation many of us may be facing or might have faced. Now, based on this, certain questions are framed. So this is application from the case. What traits and skills explain how the boss had career success? It's mentioned the boss was incredibly successful. What is it? Is it intelligence? Is it confidence? Or pleasing personality withal, or hard taskmaster? As you know that 1, 2, 3 are correct. 1, 2 and 4 are correct. He is intelligent, he is confident, and he is a hard taskmaster, but he did not have a pleasing personality. So the answer here is the fourth one, A, B, D. Then second question is, Ram's personality type is what? If you remember in one of the units we have talked about the personality types, the type A and type B. That is how this question is derived. Ram personality type, as you know, is a type B personality. What traits helped Ram survive and learn from his ordeal? His positive attitude, his intelligence, his image with the top management and support from staff. The answer is, as you know, obvious, is positive attitude. All other things may be relevant, but the important thing here is positive attitude. And come to item number 4, boss's personality is what? Now you will remember, if you understood that particular type A, type B personality, you will be able to immediately say the boss's personality is type A, that is item number 2. And the fifth question here is, which of the executive is or are most prone to land in health problems? Why are we discussing some of these points? Not from the examination angle only. If you are type A, if you are highly aggressive, it is possible that it will ruin the health itself. Ram, boss, or both, none. It is the boss. B. Boss's health is prone to have sickness or derailment of even careers. Between the two, who displays higher level of emotional intelligence? This subject was covered in our session. Goes without saying, Ram is the answer. From the given case, Ram appeared to be. From the given case, Ram appears to be totally demotivated. He has taken the situation positively. Ram is on the verge of quitting. Ram is totally frustrated. What does it say? If you go through the case well, he has taken the situation positively. So friends, this particular case on the one side could be a question in the examination paper, but at the same, it could be a live situation. We may have situations which may not be very comfortable for us. It could be the boss may be difficult. Sometimes the subordinates are also difficult for the boss. We don't know how the situation, but given the case here, he has taken the situation positively. That is a word called stoically. Then what cannot be cured? There is a saying that it must be endured. It's not only applicable in office, it's applicable in home, and it's also in society. The most important quality needed for success as per the current thinking, this was covered earlier also, it is what is called emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. The above case displays that Ram is having what? Ram is feeling what here? He is feeling a sense of personal inadequacy to deal with him. That is the correct answer. Now come to the leadership style. Though it is not correctly, may not have been fully covered, in any part like this. But leadership style we must know, and this all of us know. Leadership style are basically, one is called laissez-faire, one is called country club, third one is autocratic, and none of the above. Now it is autocratic. Laissez-faire means laissez-faire economy, he will not interfere at all. Country club means, it's something like enjoyable. It is autocratic, it is very clearly mentioned here. Ram is not able to achieve work-life balance due to. Definitely Ram, the case study shows that he is disturbed even while coming to office. So to that extent, he is not able to achieve his own work-life balance. I'm sure he must be having some type of miserable time at home also, because he carries this particular tension home. So why he is not able to achieve work-life balance? Added workload, lack of support, family problem, interpersonal reasons. This is where the subject transaction analysis comes to the picture. He is able to understand, and having understood, he has taken a stand that he will not perpetrate it. He has withdrawn. That is where the TA comes into the picture. There is where emotional quotient come into the picture, and that is where the personality types come into the picture. Now the question, of course, I have covered earlier. A salesman in a shop showed a suit piece and told the customer that the cloth is very costly. This is something like an angular transaction. He is trying to hook the ego of the person concerned. So the answer is angular. This is again from transaction analysis. A speaker in a seminar was commenting that people of a particular country cannot be trusted for business. So there are four situations. I am okay, you are okay. I am okay, they are not okay. I am okay, you are okay, they are not okay. This is what happens when suppose we are discussing about a third party. We are okay, I am alright, you are also alright, but the person who is absent is not okay. It's very interesting from the angle of the operational situation. Ego and superego under psychoanalytical theory is the same as parent, adult and child under the TA. It is not. The answer is false. Now let's come to the last question here for the purpose. This is state whether the statements below are true or false. It is the function of unconscious. Caring boss displays a nurturing parent ego state. Personality is the sum total of all that a person has learnt. We have an image of our own, and our actions are consistent with that image. All the four statements are correct. Now why such questions are framed here, why it has been brought to your notice is, these are all statements from the book directly. Unless you have read the book, unless you understood this particular concept, it will be difficult to answer. So here to get half a mark or 1 mark, you have to know these four statements. How is it possible? It's possible and possible only and only if you read the book closely and carefully. And I can assure you that by listening to lectures like this, by listening to seminars and classes, your horizon will be developed and HR can be answered only with application of theory with the practice which you are facing. So observe the situation and find out whatever you have learned in these particular 4 or 5 sessions, it's relevant in operational situations, and that will help you to answer questions like this. In HRM module, there are overall 6 units. And starting from the HRD scope, it ends up in the performance appraisal system, and there where the HRIS, information system helps, that is the information technology. But what is the HR value proposition which the organization can benefit from? Because this is coming to the central stage. Talent management is the subject discussed in all the forums. And the HR department can provide this, ensuring HR professionalism, building HR resources, strategy and organization, and serving internal and external stakeholders, and ensuring a two-way communication in organization. Jack Welch, the former chairman of GE Electricals, once stated in his book, the most important officer in his organization after the CEO is the head of the HR. Even today in some of the private sector banks, the HR person is playing almost the number 2 role in the bank concern. It is time that HR is given the pride of the place it deserves. In many places it has not come about. So this particular thing, that is a HR value proposition to the business strategy of the organization. It has not been mentioned that HR is part and parcels of the business strategy. The thinking is slowly shifting towards that. Now in regard to that, the leadership at the highest level, when we talk about Jack Welch, it is the CEO's thought process. The CEOs have to give the importance to this particular department. Very recently in public sector banks, a third ED has been brought about. The third ED's role is only HR, EDHR. That shows the importance, accorded to the function of HR across the industry. And in regard to the management in the past, a stable command and control approach must give way to coach, collaborate and communicate approach. Leaders who impose will lose talent. There are paper reports about some of the leading IT companies. The people are just leaving the organization, even though no reason is given specifically, but it may be because of some of the leadership issues. But the important point for today's leaders, whether the HR leader on the one side or functional leader on the other side, is that you should engage the people concerned, and for that tune up transaction analysis and emotional quotient skills. Now comes the generation Y is considered as most important, and their problems are considered to be very unique. Whatever that may be, they may look for more leisure in life. In fact, they may probably ask for 5-day work in banking. They may ask for flexible timings. They may also seek working from home. Definitely they will seek good compensation, and they are concerned about career growth and definitely work-life balance itself. In fact, they may not be happy with a fixed salary, a variable salary they will ask. They may look for an accelerated promotion. They may look for some deputation to good organizations. They may look for foreign postings and a paid holiday for the whole family and training to foreign institutions. I'm happy to note here, some of the banks have started with even sabbatical, 1 year, 2 year leave with full pay is given, so the employees can go wherever they want and pursue their self-actualization efforts or endeavors. So that is what sensitivity to generation Y. So the HR policies of tomorrow will have to revisit and refine the HR policies on a regular basis with the best in the industry to make the employees feel wanted. That is the crux of it, feel wanted. They should feel like coming to the organization. The Monday should not be a boredom to come to office. People should not look forward to only Saturdays. They should also look forward to Monday to go back to the organization. I had occasion to ask in some of the forums when I used to take some executive MBA classes, which used to be held on a Sunday, that are you waiting to go to the office tomorrow morning? That is Monday morning. And majority of them in the age group of say between below 30 years used to tell that, no sir, we are not looking forward to it. Couple of fellows raised their hand when they said, sir, some project is pending. The third fellow said, sir, tomorrow some bonus is going to be announced. So what we are trying to say here is that Monday is not welcome for many people, whereas people are rushing towards the Saturday. There used to be a movie called Saturday Fever, and there were articles stating that why people wait for the Saturdays. Of course, today, since it's a 5-day week culture in many places, people may be looking forward to the Friday. That type of an organization climate is not going to pay in the long run. Now, another point here is that communication in the organization must improve, because these are all based on the BankCon 2013. It need not be always from top to bottom. It has to be vice versa, from bottom upward also, but in a most decorous manner. Decorum should be maintained. The other day somebody was telling that juniors are addressing even the CMD of the bank with the name. This is not America, of course, where you can call the President Obama by name Obama or Clinton, Bill or whatever it is, but you can't call your CEO, at least in this country, at least for the next foreseeable future, by their name. That is not what the communication we are talking about. Your communication means the suggestions which can be given upward. And HR department in this particular process should do what they are saying, and they should do what they are saying. That means they should achieve credibility so that the younger generation will develop trust in the particular organization concerned. Another important point to be considered by all of us here is that HR policy is evolving, and the right policy will be akin to a journey and not a destination. This statement is oft repeated everywhere. Success is not a journey. It's not a destination. It is a journey. Happiness is not a destination, but it is a journey. You can say same thing about HR policy also, that you cannot have the HR policy in place because it is an evolving one. Let us consider it as a journey. Along with the time, we should be open for them. New challenges will call for changes from time to time. Need of the hour is to be alert and responsible. This is an era where the talent is in short supply, and in such cases lateral recruitment will be taking place. Then career development is expected. So shared vision, and if shared vision continuously happen, and somebody was mentioning that if a communication go from the CMD to all the employees, or from CMD's office to all the employees, some type of a shared vision will happen, some type of camaraderie will happen. These are all some of the methods which are attempted even today in the banking industry. Now some of the banks, what they are doing, they are grooming the workforce, staff grooming is taking place, accelerated promotion is in place, performance management is happening, mentoring is happening, soft skill training, most important thing. Every forum it has been said that start emphasizing soft skill. They say customer is the most important person. Mahatma Gandhi said way back in 1919 that the customer is the most important person on our premises. In all the bank branches in yesteryears, we used to carry this particular quotation of Mahatma Gandhi with this particular photograph. In the 80s, 90s, up to 2000, we used to say on customer service, the importance of customer. For this, in order to consider the customer as the most important thing, it's not mere lip service by saying customer is a king. We must believe from the bottom of the heart, if there is no customer, there is no bank. If there is no customer, there is no organization. But he should be treated with that respect which he deserves. So soft skill training for attitudinal behavioral changes is important. And feedback system, again, come out of the latest BankCon 2013. See, let us contrast the theory what has been covered with actual practice. And all of us should be conscious that we are in uncertain times. Banking itself is in a flux. We must not overlook that. We should not be complacent with the profit and the work culture. It's possible many organizations across the country, including banks, have closed down. So we must be conscious about what's happening around. Banking itself is in a flux. New competitions are threatening the core of the banking function. Some people are asking the question, is there a need for bank at all? Why bank at all? It can be done by mobile companies, all others. Even payment and settlements are taken over by mobile companies. Why people are saying, why we need a bank at all? So when there is no bank at all, where is our bank job? It may not be an immediate threat, but the threat is still looming. It cannot be ignored. Banks will need the services of dedicated and talented staff. So talent management, pooling their resources, engaging them, making them feel ample opportunity for them to grow, and an attentive management should be in place. Employees should be taken as a partner. Here Vineet Nair's quotation is relevant. I like that particular statement, employees first. At least let us talk about it. And the most HR has to pay the way for hiring, grooming and retaining them. This can be emphasized and emphasized and emphasized. Certain items can be, by repetition, nothing is going to happen. It's not that by one statement one can learn the whole thing. Soft and whistleblower policy. In fact, it has come about in banks. What is this whistleblower policy? It has been mentioned. But how many people are confident of blowing the whistle? Why they are not confident of blowing the whistle? And the people who have blown the whistle in the past, they have suffered immensely. I remember reading the article by the first blower in in US. One lady staff it was, and she had mentioned openly, given a chance, I would not have repeated that particular action. So what happens here is that nothing is confidential. Somebody gives a feedback that is thrown open to the public and the person is harassed. The HR has to be sensitive. Unless and until things are confidential, unless and until people are protected, whistleblowing may not take place. Now this takes us to the most important aspect in regard to the whole of HRM. What is HRM talks about? Managing the human resources. So the human resources come to this particular organization, they work. First question to be asked is the job is by chance or choice? Given a choice, will you continue with this particular work? Given a choice, will you continue in your bank? Given a choice, will you be in this relationship? Given a choice, you will continue with this account with this particular bank. Everything should be by choice, not by chance. Employment all the more. So the HR has to play it as per the employee's choice. There are some surveys are conducted. They say that organizations as per the employee's choice, and they list out why the employees prefer certain organization. Many of the organizations do not find a mention that at all. That means most of the people may not be working by choice, but because of circumstances. And many senior people with huge salaries and all are leaving the organization to start organization on their own. Why after working 20-30 years they leave the organizations? It is because money may not be the only issue. The self-esteem could be an issue, and they may not be getting it from the place wherever they are. So in some important point to be kept in mind here is that we must develop, this was mentioned in an earlier class, willing workers, not from reluctant workers. If the quantum of the willing workers goes up in any banking organization, the bank will grow. The tomorrow will go to that particular organization where the people are coming willingly, joyfully, and with their own volition. The HR and the management owes it a duty to the bank and the customers and other stakeholders to build an organization of the choice of the customers. This I have mentioned earlier. Read the modules very well for the examination. Do the check your progress. Refer to the glossary repeatedly and read the summary. And if you read the book well and keep around the latest developments. The developments come through IIB of Vision, the development come through the IIB of Portal, and developments come through the newspapers. Keep your eyes and ears open. Banking is a dynamic subject. Policies are undergoing changes. And if you keep track of it, passing of course is assured, as also being successful in your career and operations. All the best. do well in the examination.